trying to think through ways to best articulate this idea that I talk a lot about, and I want to make it clear, I want to communicate it well where it really resonates with people and they really understand it and it clicks. And a lot of times I think using analogies is super helpful for that. So I'm thinking through this idea of the ice bath. So I've been kind of like, I try to make myself take like the last 10 seconds of my showers, like in the morning, with the water cold. My wife's telling me that's good for my skin, and that hopefully it's also kind of good for my just like emotional state, that it gets the anxiousness down and, you know, lowers your blood pressure. You know, it's good health stuff. So I'm thinking about it, right? The water hits my face and it's freezing freaking cold, and it pisses me off when it happens. And it's uncomfortable, right? And so I'm thinking about, why am I doing this? And it's like, because I'm doing it because I have at least bought into the idea that the ends justify the means. The means are the experience, the discomfort of cold water pouring over my body. The ends are whatever outcome of health benefit, you know, skin benefit that it gains for me. And our lives are very much the same structure of thing, in that we can choose to turn the cold water, right, of discomfort and adversity, but we have to do it, right? So we have to reach out our hand and say, I'm going to voluntarily endure the discomfort associated with doing things that are not particularly enjoyable for me, so as to gain whatever benefit I stand to gain. So for instance, for you, it might be, I'm going to intentionally subject myself to the discomfort of making myself wake up 20 or 25, 30 minutes early in the morning, simply to get to work on time, so that the day hasn't started before I have, right? So that I don't walk into work anxious. I don't walk in a hurry and heightened emotionally. I don't show to the people that, you know, I work with and work for that I'm not very self-disciplined, right? I'm intentionally subjecting myself to the discomfort of saying, I'm gonna get up 20 minutes early. I'm gonna set my alarm 20, 30 minutes earlier to make myself begin practicing this discipline of waking up earlier and being on time, because of the benefit that it gains for me. And over time, as you do that, that particular thing actually becomes habit. It now then leaves the category of activity, which is in the process of becoming habit, right? Which means it's difficult and you're drudging through it. You're having to think about it a lot. You're having to really fight it. Once it becomes a habit, you don't have to fight it anymore. It's just something that automatically happens, and you're not having to struggle through it. So now that becomes a habit. Your character's a little better. And now you have the emotional and mental bandwidth free again to then look at your life, assess your life, and say, okay, what's next? What is the next intentionally uncomfortable thing I need to subject myself to? Maybe the next one is an uncomfortable conversation you need to have with a spouse, a family member, a friend, a coworker, that you've been avoiding because you're uncomfortable dealing with the contention that you know that you're gonna have. But there's a beneficial outcome to be had, both in the sense that maybe that conversation serves to resolve a conflict, but also your intentional willingness to subject yourself to the discomfort of that conversation also grows your own character and gives you a greater capacity going forward to do things like that in the future. To recognize, here's an uncomfortable thing I need to do. There's a beneficial outcome. I'm not going to hesitate for 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years anymore. I'm not going to hesitate for 2 weeks. I'm going to subject myself to this immediately and grow my capacity all the while to do that type of thing, to go through the discomfort, the refining fires of discomfort and adversity, in order to garner for yourself a positive outcome, both now and in the future.